Speaker has the gavel in her hand.
Just one small point. I understand that the person who has voted present is Tulsi Gabbard,
Yes.
who's the
and
one of the Democrat
who ran for Congress. I mean, who ran for the presidency.
Yeah,
yes.
who's running for the presidency.
I'm still waiting for that sound. There are a few votes there, no votes, and these are the ones that we'll watch to see which columns they shift into.
Going to your point, this president has made a signature out of the fact that he does not apologize. He does not express doubt.
And that he likes fighting.
Yeah, and he could be a conflict junkie in some respects, but I think you're absolutely right. I think that this does bother him. And reading that letter, that when many of us started reading the letter last night, you immediately knew it was his voice. This is him. And I agree with you. There was a genuine anger to it. He doesn't understand. I don't think he really does understand why he should be impeached for this. I don't think it's an act.
But don't you think there have been people who've been prevailing upon him? Probably Mitch McConnell would say, look, there are parts that can't you just say that some of it was not ideal, but it didn't rise to a level. And Donald Trump won't entertain the idea.
Here is another difference between now and 1998. Bill Clinton at this point had expressed contrition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And that made a difference.
Well, see, I think that's the greatest point of all, is that one. That is, Bill Clinton showed contrition at the drop of a hat. I mean, he could burst into tears.
But I'm really, really sorry.
Right, faster than Patty Duke. He was good at it, but people viewed him as inauthentic. For Trump, I talk to Trump supporters all the time who don't like his mannerisms, his language, but they view him as authentic. That is, they trust that they know what they've got with him, even if they don't like everything they're getting.
I think he is the most authentic politician that I have reported on. I've never, it was so funny.
Authentic and transparent.
Yeah, and transparent. You know what he's thinking on any given day. And, when you're a political correspondent, you're trying to figure out what is going on behind the curtains in 10 Downing Street or at the Élysée Palace or wherever it happens to be. With Donald Trump, you see his Twitter feed, you know exactly what sort of mood he's woken up in.
Yeah, he plays poker with the cards facing outward. And it's you don't have any doubt what the cards are in his hand or what he's going to do.
What was Bill Clinton known as? Do you remember? Slick Willie.
Yeah, Slick Willie, yeah. And I think that's why your point was so brilliant, is that that was the signature of these two people. But what people like about Trump is not how obnoxious he is. It's the fact that he doesn't hide being obnoxious. And
in fact, he is putting out campaign ads at the moment for his re-election bid saying, you may not like me. Lots of people don't like me, but look what I'm doing for you.
And he's raking it in.
The White House, curiously, is almost making a virtue out of the fact that not everybody does like his mannerisms, that he's a bit of a bull in a china shop, that he's, a bit uncouth, or whatever the word is that you want to use. He's using that to his advantage at the moment. It's kind of brilliant strategy in terms of the politics of how they're handling this.
He's blowing the gaskets on fundraising. He's raking in the dough.
And it'll be very interesting. I'd be interested to see what happens tomorrow, to see how much money he's also raised on the back of these votes tonight. And just to remind you, we have had the first article of impeachment. It is formal. Donald Trump has been impeached on the charge of abuse of power. We're waiting for Nancy Pelosi to give us that final vote tally, and we can see the numbers are still shifting. This is what we're waiting on, by the way. That no vote column just went from 8 to 7, so it's down to 6 again. So there's a final bit of vote tallying going on. That will be obstruction of Congress, but either way, Donald Trump has become the third American president ever to have been impeached. It will be something that will always be on his resume, always be on his legacy. The biography of Donald Trump in the future will be Donald Trump was the 45th president of the United States and he was impeached. Whatever happens in the Senate next, the fact that he's been impeached means he's been impeached. They may decide in the Senate, it looks likely that they will decide in the Senate during that trial process, not to remove him from office. The same thing happened to Bill Clinton. He was not removed from office, but he will have been an impeached president.
And he has said in Michigan, this is an eternal mark of shame and a political suicide march, he's gone on to say. So Donald Trump is reacting to the events as they unfold in the House.
An internal mark of shame.
An internal mark of shame.
On himself.
Well, no, on Congress for
I
having voted for the.
I can't
So no, I
believe
can't.
that Donald Trump would
would say
think that this is a mark of shame on himself.
No, an internal mark of shame
on the process
on
and on the
process
Democrats.
and the Democrats
Yes.
and the way they've conducted themselves
Well,
over the handling of
On
this
this
impeachment
vote, the yeas
Here
are
comes the sheet.
229, the nays are 198, present is 1. Article 2 is adopted.
Donald Trump has been impeached on the second article, obstruction of Congress. He's now been impeached on both articles. And as Jonathan Turley was saying earlier, we are not hearing huge, loud cheers and jubilation from the Democrats. They have been warned very firmly by their Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, not to do a victory lap here.
Article 1 is laid on the table. Without objection, the motion to reconsider Article 2 is laid on the table. Pursuant to Section 7B of House Resolution 758, the House stands adjourned till 9 a.m. tomorrow.
So there we have it, the proceedings wrapping up in Congress. It has been a long day of debates, but it has ended with the impeachment of President Trump. We can go to Capitol Hill, to Gary O'Donoghue. I think we can go to the White House in just a second, but let's first go to Gary O'Donoghue on Capitol Hill. A historic day, Gary, for Donald Trump and for Congress, isn't it?